Welcome to CyberCEO, wherein we talk about how our cyberbackers helped our cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. CyberCEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. All right, another awesome day here at Cyberbacker. My name is Jello. We're back with another episode of CyberCEO. And of course, we are very lucky to have a very special guest on the show today. Michael, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
All right, we really appreciate you being here. Thank you very much for giving us your time. So for the benefit of everyone who's listening, watching, can you tell us something about yourself, Michael? What's your role in real estate?
Yeah, so I am a MAPS coach. I coach a full-time roster of right around 40 real estate business owners throughout the country or throughout the US and Canada.
All right, so all throughout US and Canada. Now, a lot of our listeners might not know what a MAPS coach does. So what does your typical day or your usual day look like, Michael?
Yeah, so as a MAPS coach, I partner with business owners in real estate that are really helping to develop the business side, right? Most of the people I coach are moving from agent mindset to business owner mindset. So leverage, leadership, hiring, top grading, right? The systems, all of that development is what we dig into. And my personal goal is to really help people to really find their identity and their vision of quality of life and to fund it through the income producing tool of real estate.
Okay, gotcha. So almost every day, I mean, not almost every day then, you talk to a lot of successful business people. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, every day I average 8 coaching calls per day.
Wow, well, that's a lot of calls. So good thing you have your own cyberbacker backing you up in the business then, am I right?
That's right. Yeah. I would not carry a roster like that without a cyberbacker.
If you don't mind me asking, Michael, before you had your own cyberbacker working with you in your business, did you have experience working with virtual team members?
Yes. Not as a coach, but in our real estate business, we had cycled through, I don't know, 3 or 4 virtual assistants. None of them were really, most of them were solo, or they were just coming through a platform that was a conduit for them to make the connection. Never with anyone that had the level of support and camaraderie and training that my cyberbacker has now.
All right. So what you already mentioned is there is really a huge difference between a typical virtual assistant and a cyberbacker. Am I right?
Yeah, I go through this conversation with a lot of clients, and I think the biggest difference is the culture, right? There is a culture of productivity. There's a culture of learning, growth, and there's a camaraderie within Cyberbacker that if my cyberbacker doesn't have the answer, someone else is going to, and we can tap into that community. I think that's extremely valuable. And that's one of the main reasons I point people in that direction. I never, ever want to be without my cyberbacker. And I know if something changes for her, or if something changes in general, I mean, God forbid something would happen and she wasn't able to work with me, I have so much confidence that within the organization of Cyberbacker, I wouldn't even skip a step. Someone else would come in and be able to follow the protocols and the systems that she has spent so much time developing and helping me process.
Now, since we're already talking about your cyberbacker, can you tell me something about her? Maybe personality-wise, the things that she does for you in your business, things like that.
Yeah. So my cyberbacker's name is Jean, and Jean and I partnered. When we partnered, I was most excited because she has a big why, right? She really knows why she's showing up every day. She has a young son, and it allows her to have the time with her son, raise her son the way she wants, bring the financial support to her son. So she's really passionate about that. And she has such a close connection to that she brings that into my world, right? And is really dedicated. So she's on every single one of my calls with me. She's taking all the notes. All of my clients know this, and I will ask them if I could talk to Jean for a moment so I can have her commit to getting us some resources or putting something up on the screen or making a connection with another agent or another cyberbacker. She really is the glue that holds it all together. I guess the best way I can describe it is to share my personality with you, and I think you'll realize how well she dovetails with it. I am the most talented. I can bring the most value to people when I'm handed the notes. I'm pushed out on stage. The curtain opens. I get to put on my presentation, do the Q&A, curtain closes, hand my notes off, and go to the next one. And Jean has literally created that environment for me. I wake up every day. I look at my calendar. I know the right links are in there. I know all the right details. So I study before I start the day. I get on the calls. Everything is seamless. And I know she cares so much that I don't have to worry about it. I can put all my energy into what I care about, which is really helping people develop their quality of life expectations through the income that real estate can produce.
And of course, just having those real conversations with your clients, right? Not focusing on the notes because you have someone backing you up when it comes to that.
Yeah, that's a great point, because we talk a lot in coaching about the levels of listening. And if I can be focused in the conversation and I don't feel like I have to get all the details down and all the notes that I have to go back to, I know that's happening. The level of listening that occurs and partnership, it's at a completely different level. And I was never able to do that without that support and that partnership that Jean brings me.
Of course, good thing she's backing you up there during those calls, of course. My next question is, of course, since this is a what we call, let's say, a virtual relationship, what makes it work? What makes it a successful partnership?
I mean, some of the standard things that I would expect for anyone that I invite into my professional world, which would be punctuality, attention to detail. She looks for and finds solutions, accountability, right? I think it's really important that there's horizontal accountability, because she has a vantage point that I don't have, and I have a vantage point that she doesn't have. And so we're very comfortable sharing that back and forth. And we share, other things. Like I get excited when she gets to go on vacation, and I want to make sure she's sending me photos of her and her son enjoying life. And the same for me. She really protects me when I go on my vacations, and she's genuinely interested in that. So over the time, I mean, it has grown into a deeper relationship than just the business. And I think that's critical to have that level of culture in a true partnership. And that's what I see happening in Cyberbacker, right? That there's a real camaraderie and level of partnership within all the Cyberbackers as well. So I feel that she brings that sense of community to me, even though I'm very much hands off when it comes to her role.
Of course, here in Cyberbacker, our roles aren't just to support our CyberCEOs, our clients, but of course to support each other. Because again, the success of one is the success of everyone. Now, next question is, you already mentioned a few things that your Cyberbacker Jean is currently doing for you in your business. What I'd like to know more of is, what are the things or the tasks that you're considering having her to do in the future?
Yeah. Honestly, I think the opportunities are endless. I think a lot of people compartmentalize a virtual assistant with having some sort of boundary of ability or service. And yes, I mean, Jean is never going to be here in New Hampshire to do, something physical, but that's not the role. And I've thought about as we grow, maybe having her hire a cyberbacker so we can handle even more. As I grow my business and we move into maybe some more group calls and really, my goal is to touch as many people as possible, to really impact as many lives as possible. And so I coach 40 people, but I have a vision of that expanding. And I think Jean could have a huge role in that because she understands what I'm looking for. And so my instinct would be to put her on that front lines as the leader and then have her bring other people in to support us as things grow. That's the first place my mind goes to. But really, I'm going to be surprised. I know I will be because she surprised me every step of the way. Any opportunity I've exposed for growth, she's just leaned into Cyberbacker, shadowed someone, learned it, brought me some options. We've implemented it. It's a great relationship.
That's exciting, especially the leadership role that you were mentioning earlier. Of course, that's going to be more things for her to do and growth for your business in return, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Now, my next question is a bit tough. Have you had any challenges working with cyberbackers so far?
When I first started with Cyberbacker, I went through the process. I chose someone and life circumstances changed for them. And so we were a month in and then they had to transition, which was fine. It was a challenge for me, but I understand that. That's part of the hiring process. Jean was able to step in right away and we haven't missed a step since. And really any challenges I've had, I felt very comfortable bringing that to her. And she has gone right into Cyberbacker and developed. At the very beginning, there needed to be some development in note taking and the grammar and some of just the details around that. It wasn't more than 2 weeks that it took her to shadow someone that was doing it at a high level and bring that right into my business. So yeah, of course, we're never without challenges. But it's important for me to relay that any challenge I can bring, somehow she finds a way to make it a lot easier than I thought it was.
Of course, she's really there to support you with anything that she can, of course. Now, one last thing. As I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of business owners listening to us right now. What advice would you be able to give them when they're hiring their own cyberbacker?
To go in with clear standards and expectations. And to not limit yourself on what's possible with, I don't even want to say virtual assistant. I don't think virtual assistant and cyberbacker are synonymous. Because when I think virtual assistant, there's a whole pool of people. And a cyberbacker stands alone in my mind. And so I'd really urge people to develop their standards and expectations around what they're looking for. And that is everything from this person gives me energy, to they come to me with solutions, to, I have some people that live in the deep South, and that's a whole culture in the United States in and of itself. And if they have someone that's interfacing voice to voice on Zoom calls, Cyberbacker can do that. Just be clear about what's important to you, right? Is it a neutral accent? Is it graphic design? Is it systems development? Whatever it is, I really urge all my clients to spend the time carving out their expectations and standards before they go into that interview. And Cyberbacker has been, there's such a deep pool of talent that if that first group of people are not, if there's someone there that just doesn't give you that energy or isn't the perfect fit, you've learned something through the process. Let Cyberbacker know that, because every single time Cyberbacker is going to go above and beyond to put in front of you what they're looking for, even if it takes a little longer than expected. So yeah, just do not bend on any standards or expectations just because you think a virtual assistant is going to be less than any other opportunity you have, because it's not. In fact, Cyberbacker is going to be more than you expected.
Appreciate the advice, of course, especially what you mentioned when it comes to expectation. Again, also probably creating that give up list, the things that you are willing to have another person do for you in your business. Now,
I want to comment on that, because I go through this exercise with many clients, because most people know it's time to bring in some support, but they're not sure where it goes. And so that give up list, sometimes that's challenging too. And so we just go through an exercise of write everything down that you're doing. And then we'll do a highlight exercise to see what is possible for someone else to do and what do you have to do. And that clarity, like, you don't have to have it all figured out. You could even take a list like that and go and talk to a head cyberbacker, and they will help walk you through the placement process.
Of course, again, anything that we could do to help out our clients, especially even with those lists, even if you're not yet, let's say, sure of what that list is, we're going to be here to help out, of course. Mm-hmm. Now, one last thing, Michael. I know that Jean is listening to us right now. Would you want to give her a quick shout out on the show?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, actually, I don't, because I don't want anyone communicating with her or trying to steal her from her. No, she is amazing, and I am just honored to have her in my world, and it has really opened my eyes up to what the possibilities are. And I have an amazing quality of life, and she is a huge part of that. And I hope I let her know that enough. But if I don't, she's getting to hear it right now. And don't think about stealing her.
I don't think anyone would, of course, try to steal her from you. But again, we are very excited to see where this partnership between you and Jean would be in the next few years to come. Thank you very much for being on the show, Michael.
Thank you for listening to our daily dose of CyberCEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. You can visit our website www.cyberbacker.com and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Spotify.